The maid scrubs the bathtub, deliberately exposing herself as she works. She's terrified the master of the house won't notice how hard she's working. In her mind, as someone at the bottom of society, this is the only way to grab onto a chance at changing her fate. Our story's heroine is named Sujin, an ordinary girl living at the very bottom of society. She used to wait tables at a small restaurant, earning barely enough to scrape by, running from meal to meal with no end in sight. But Sujin refused to live a mediocre life forever. She craved a better fate, dreaming of climbing into a higher class. Through sheer determination, she earned her childcare certification. As luck would have it, a top-tier wealthy family was hiring a private maid to look after their child. With her clean record and honest appearance, Sujin landed the job, and for the first time in her life, she stepped into a dreamlike luxury mansion. Walking into this grand estate, Sujin was like a blank sheet of paper, curious about everything. Even her uniform felt brand new and exciting. Under the impatient guidance of the head housekeeper, she quickly learned the ropes. She didn't mind washing the lady of the house's undergarments, and she absolutely adored the sweet little daughter, Nina. Kind-hearted Sujin adapted to mansion life quickly, witnessing firsthand the lavish lifestyle of the ultra-rich. The leftover delicacies from the master's table became the servants' meals. Every evening, she'd stand respectfully at the door with the old housekeeper, waiting for the master to come home. The master appeared refined, composed, and approachable, every gesture radiating the aura of a successful man. From their very first meeting, Sujin felt drawn to him, but the way he looked at her carried a subtle, playful gleam. That meaningful smile left her with a vague sense of unease. The next day, Sujin and the housekeeper carefully delivered breakfast to the master's piano room. Watching this handsome, elegant man, Sujin felt a pang of envy. His every move tugged at her heartstrings. Even after leaving the room, she remained lost in this strange fluttering feeling. Later, while holding the child, her arm accidentally brushed against his, and she felt his youthful warmth. A secret moment no one noticed. Sujin treasured this job deeply. No matter how harshly the lady of the house treated her, she always bowed her head and served with care.
남의 아버지 오셨나 보네요. 욕실 청소해야 될 것 같은데. 손은 내일 할게요.
One day, Sujin cleaned the bathtub ahead of schedule for the master. Completely absorbed in her work, she had no idea the master was watching from the doorway. He glanced back at his heavily pregnant wife inside, a woman he'd long grown tired of, and felt an intense desire for Sujin in that instant. Sensing his gaze, Sujin realized she'd been caught. She shyly picked up her shoes, bowed respectfully, and hurried away, never knowing she'd just become this man's target. Late that night, using his wife's pregnancy as an excuse, the master quietly entered Sujin's room. With gentle words, he hinted at crossing the line. Already infatuated with him and desperate to touch the world above, Sujin didn't resist, and just like that, they began a secret affair. From that day on, Sujin was completely lost. Her eyes brimmed with affection whenever she looked at him, and she couldn't help stealing glances. But the master ran hot and cold, leaving her confused. She began dressing up carefully, hoping to catch his attention. Naive as she was, she had no idea how complicated the world of the wealthy truly was. She thought pleasing this one man would give her the life she dreamed of. This secret affair pulled Sujin deeper into a fantasy. Every time she saw him, her eyes betrayed her love. She'd dress up secretly, hoping for more attention. She naively believed that if she was obedient enough, gentle enough, she could earn a place in this household, maybe even escape her servant status. But the rules of the wealthy are cold and cruel. The master remained inconsistent, tender when he wanted her, distant when he didn't. Sujin grew more and more confused, unable to tell if his feelings were real, lost in unrealistic fantasies. All her devotion earned her was eye rolls and mockery from the old housekeeper. The master's attitude grew even colder. One day, he simply handed her a check, no explanation needed. Sujin understood instantly. He wanted her to forget everything. That check shattered every hope she had for the future, plunging her into deep despair. Even after being cast aside, Sujin kept working as if nothing had happened. She still served the family attentively, giving the lady massages daily, her service flawless. But her quiet compliance made the old housekeeper nervous, fearing Sujin might take her place. To protect herself, the housekeeper went straight to the lady's mother and revealed everything about Sujin and the master.
제 눈엔 확실해 보였어요.
그럼 당사자는 지는 지가 임신한 것도 모르고 있다는 거야?
글쎄요, 워낙 좀 둔한 데가 있어서.
Mother and daughter immediately grasped the gravity of the situation. If Sujin had the child, it would threaten the wife's position. To eliminate the threat, this ruthless pair decided to get rid of the baby. Soon, they found their chance. One day, while Sujin stood on a ladder cleaning the chandelier, completely off guard, the mother-in-law pretended to dodge the vacuum cleaner and kick the ladder out from under her. Sujin fell from a great height. Thankfully, her quick reflexes let her grab the chandelier.
사모님, 저 다리 좀 잡아주세요. 할머니 빨리. 남이야, 너도 가만히 있어.
But with no one to help, her strength gave out and she crashed to the floor. The old housekeeper was horrified. She never imagined this mother and daughter would go as far as murder. Luckily, Sujin only suffered minor injuries, and the baby was unharmed. It was this accident that revealed her pregnancy.
처음에는 엉치표 쪽만 보느라고 놓쳤던 거예요. 여기 보이시죠? 자궁에 착상한 수정란 주머니? 임신 확실하네요. 4주 좀 지난 걸로 보이는데요.
The shocking news left Sujin stunned. Her friend urged her to leave the mansion immediately, have the baby, squeeze them for a fortune, and disappear forever. But naive Sujin ignored the advice and returned to the estate. Back at the mansion, everyone looked at her strangely. The pressure was suffocating.
이 집 좀 무서운 것 같아요.
왜?
저 이제 그만둬야 될 것 같아요. 나갈래요.
나가 그럼. 당장 짐 싸서.
그래도 새로운 아줌마 구할 때까지.
예. 니까지 거 하나 없어진다고 눈 깜짝할 사람 하나 없어 이 집에.
The old housekeeper, guilty over her betrayal, secretly begged Sujin to leave quietly, but the moment Sujin offered her resignation, the lady of the house humiliated her publicly. Only then did she realize her secret had been exposed long ago. Next, the mother-in-law presented another check, pressuring Sujin to abort the baby, promising everything would be forgotten if she complied. But Sujin couldn't bear to give up the tiny life inside her, and refused. Seeing she wouldn't budge, the lady got abortion herbs from a traditional doctor and secretly mixed them into Sujin's medicine. Unaware, Sujin drank the deadly brew. Soon after, the lady gave birth to twin boys. The master rushed to the hospital, overjoyed, but his wife, still bitter over his affair, bit down hard on his lip during their kiss. Furious and humiliated, he stormed out. When he returned home, he found Sujin lying in the bathtub, facing him without fear. She calmly said, "Your wife knew about us all along. She poisoned my medicine to kill our baby." The moment she finished speaking, Sujin began vomiting violently, blood pouring out. The old housekeeper rushed in and confirmed the medicine had been tampered with. Watching Sujin barely clinging to life on the operating table, the housekeeper completely broke down. She knew the truth if she hadn't sold Sujin out so her own son could become a prosecutor. This girl would never have suffered like this. Meanwhile, learning the baby was gone, the master confronted his mother-in-law.
무슨 약 먹이셨습니까?
난 아니야.
누굽니까 그럼? 남이 엄마입니까?
미안해. 나야.
저 쇼크 먹었습니다. 아니 누가 감히 내 애한테.
Though slightly displeased with her methods, he merely shrugged it off. The baby's gone, so be it. No need to dig deeper. To him, flesh and blood meant nothing compared to family honor and wealth. When Sujin woke up, she finally understood everything. What the little girl had told her was true, the fall wasn't an accident, and the one who betrayed her was the old housekeeper she thought sympathized with her.
애는 거짓말 못하니까.
하지만 그땐 나도 내가 임신한 줄 몰랐었다고요.
나는 알았어. 그 집구석에서 일어나는 일 치고 내가 모르는 일.
Furious and devastated, Sujin slapped her hard across the face twice, but nothing could be undone. She finally understood. Her tragedy was her own doing, for failing to resist temptation, for trusting the false warmth of the wealthy. In the final scene, everything returns to normal. The mansion still gleams with luxury. The family gathers to celebrate Nina's birthday. The master gifts a priceless painting. The lady sings happy birthday. The picture looks warm and loving, but it's suffocating, heavy with everything left buried beneath.